Oh, something in me. Oh, what? Okay, right there.
Yep.
Uh-oh, what's that? That's a different type of
Because, why is the
Symbol.
video private?
icon.
Huh? What the hell?
Okay, 6:59.
Let me look on Zoom. Is it? Oh. In theory, we are there. And there's Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. Can she hear me?
I don't know.
Oh,
Yes, I can hear you.
oh. I know it's in the middle of the DNC.
Hello?
Let me lower my volume.
Hello?
009.
Okay, it is 6:59. We're gonna get ready at 7.
Also want to watch the DNC.
Uh,
Alright,
okay, let me see this one.
okay, it's 6:59, so we can't
It's
quite.
7 now. It's 7.
Not on the clock. Maybe on your clock.
Oh, well, that means that was slow.
It may be. It just may be.
Oh, Lord.
How you guys doing?
Hi, how
Fine.
you doing? It's 7 o'clock. We had to wait for 7 o'clock on the official laptop.
Right.
It's a minute off.
We're gnashing our teeth because we realize it's the convention.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I could have did it next Thursday.
Okay, so it is now officially 7 o'clock.
It is officially 7
And you
o'clock.
want to call this meeting
And we're gonna
to order?
call this meeting to order.
Okay.
And
Introduce everybody.
though everybody, Laura, we've been doing this for 5 years. She's got me sounding like a mockingbird. Welcome. My name is Tori Bailey, and I am the chair for the Homelessness Liaison for UNNC, which stands for United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council. So today we have a wonderful guest, and her name will be Ash. Uh-oh, where'd they go? All of a sudden it disappeared.
That's because I'm sharing the agenda.
Okay,
And
so sorry about that, Ashley. It just disappeared on me. Laura's our techno person tonight.
here we go.
So the agenda is on the shared screen, but we have Ashley McKay tonight. Who's that?
If everyone can mute until Tori calls on you, please.
Yeah, okay, just, yeah, if they can. Ashley is a part of Homecoming Project, and she's gonna share with us tonight after we have public comments. And public comments are anything that's not on the agenda that has something to do with homelessness, whether it be solutions, a problem, anything that you can think of, something that bothers you, anything of public concern regarding homelessness. Now we'll open public comment at this time. Anybody have anything interesting that's happened in the news? I got a couple of texts about things that happened today about Dockweiler has been emptied out of the homelessness. I guess the RVs. Donna, would you like to elaborate on that at all?
What happened actually, the governor has instructed state employees to clear all properties that belong to the state. And Dockweiler happens to be a state-owned beach. As well as under freeways, along the edges of the freeways. There's no, there should not be any encampments. They are instructed to clear away, and Dockweiler was cleared today.
Wow. Well, that's a lot because we go out there periodically, and when you go into the right at the beach, to the left, there's always been a overnight encampment that with all the RVs and cars and etc. So that's gonna be interesting seeing all of that empty and open back up to the public, to the general public.
he's like doing playing with the cities. Long Beach has also instituted a program, but he has told our city, particular LA, if they don't, they're going to cut funding and send the funds to cities who do. That
Oh,
they want the encampments cleared off, definitely from parks and everywhere else like that, or libraries, all the places that were already on schedule to be clear, but were not. He's and Karen Bass are doing a war, so we'll see who wins.
well, we can see what happens. I'm sure it's gonna take some time with everything else going on. But that's an interesting ultimatum because what funding are they gonna cut specifically for homelessness?
He named all the things, including the monies, when you talk about the housing, that people are not getting paid to be able to provide housing for people with mental health and drug
Oh,
addiction problems.
yeah,
Named
yeah.
all the money that is available and has been given. He said that can be cut and redirected to places that are actually keeping to the letter of basically what happened in the Supreme Court, that encampments in public places are not to be allowed.
Well, that's
People should be able to use the public places safely. So that is all over the news. And Doc Weiler's the latest state on land that was
right. Right. Well, Doc Waller, that's going to affect a lot of the developers, the affordable housing, things that already have been affected.
Mhm.
And so hopefully Karen will try to comply or attempt to comply, but hopefully they'll have some place for them to go because it was already the assisted living that took the mental health, they gonna change mental health also to behavioral health. Those they already was working 24/7, only getting $44 a night anyway for 24/7 care for those who were diagnosed with mental incapacities.
Yeah.
they're acting like they're not available. And you and I both know these people want to be funded properly and to be able
Right.
to provide the services. And he said all the monies that have been given should have been able to take care of what and help. Not saying every single person should have, but he said that funds that have been given to the city of LA, and he named thousands of dollars.
Well, let's see what happens because all the contingencies, we don't have time for all of that. Hopefully he can continue to keep the funding going and hopefully Karen try to see what she can do to comply. I mean, that's all we can do at this point. But at least we know they mean business. But I hope that they will look at some of the mom and pop and the providers and the vacant rooms that we have amongst everybody. And so after Ashley finishes talking about what their program is offering for people that have extra rooms and have rooms available, we want to make sure that this can be done and they will acknowledge it because they know that assisted living had those 1,000 beds available. But every time, they mention something about it, we went up to Sacramento and talked to all the local officials to let them know about the programs, and they've been here as well. Then hopefully that they'll acknowledge that and pay them more in the midst of all of this once it becomes aware to their attention again. But I won't say a lot, but a few of them have been closing, waiting on a decision. So, and they shouldn't be, because there's a lot of people out on the street that need to be in these beds.
His point.
Okay.
Okay, any other public comment?
Yep.
No, you're going in and out, Donna.
Now she's out.
Okay, any other public comments? We're in public comment right now. Anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, with no further ado, we're gonna open up the voice for Ashley to give us her exciting news for today. And I have a couple of questions. If you don't touch on it during your call.
Should I repost this agenda item with a description or?
You can.
Okay,
Well, is she gonna put the agenda back up for those who went in
right.
to read through it really quick?
Well, it's because I have a description on the agenda.
Okay.
I also
So,
had a little bit of a PowerPoint, like some things that I could share screen.
Oh, perfect. I
Oh,
can make you a
wonderful.
co-host. So this is Laura speaking, if you can't see me anymore.
Okay.
Basically, our guest, Ashley McKay, is going to be talking about the Homecoming Project, which is a program of impact justice. But since you have a presentation,
Yes.
I'm going to unshare the screen
To give her
and give you
access.
access. And Ashley, what I would ask after the meeting, and I'll give you my email, is so we comply with the Brown Act. If you'll just send me the same presentation, I'll post it to our agenda packet so that it can be made available in the future, because them's the rules.
Well, that'll be wonderful.
Okay.
If everybody.
So I can does it look like you can share now?
Yes, let's see. Okay, can you guys all see me? Can you guys all hear me?
Yes.
I feel like there's a little bit of background.
It
Yes.
is.
So let me go back to.
Would you like me to mute?
No, you're
No, not
good.
you.
Not you. I feel like I've handled it.
Yes, it's gone.
Okay.
Okay. With no further ado, we have Ashley and the Homecoming Project presentation starting now.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here to share with you guys about the Homecoming Project. And so my name is Ashley. I am the Senior Program Associate with the Homecoming Project that is under Impact Justice. The Homecoming Project is an innovation, it's a one-of-a-kind housing model that supports people who are formerly incarcerated and puts them into homes in the community. And I'm going to get a little bit deeper into that, what that means, what that looks like. It's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing here in LA. And yeah, I'm very excited to share this with you. So this is a little bit about Impact Justice and the Homecoming Project. So the first thing I want to do, there's a little video that I'd like to show you guys that really encapsulates the program and gives us an idea of like what to expect. So I'm going to go ahead and play that really quick, and then we'll jump into it.
You go in and you're being treated, like you're subhuman. Places like the Homecoming Project make it a lot easier to be accepted more into the community. And people with that mindset and that caring makes a big difference. Well, I'm really enjoying being home. Being formerly incarcerated, that stability has been very instrumental. Knowing that you're in a stable, secure place. So when you're out there trying to find a job, when you're trying to establish your credit, and not having to worry about, well, where am I going to be sleeping tonight?
The Bay Area is home for me because of my family. I have a partner, Joe. We've been together for about 12 years. We had our first participant in October 2018. It was a learning experience, I think, for both of us. We were coming from really different backgrounds, but we just had a really natural friendship. I went with Jason to buy his first car with him, did the paperwork together, going to a restaurant, reading a menu. Scott's our fourth participant.
I have 2 grown daughters, 9 grandchildren, love them dearly. Previously, to have any time with them, I was having to drive over 6.5 hours. One of the obstacles that I was coming up against is I would have to transfer my parole. I needed to have a residence. Impact Justice explained to me how the program worked and that they had a couple that we might be compatible. And when all was said and done, I think we were both pretty much in agreement that we wanted to do this, and it's been very positive.
The Homecoming Project is really necessary in the Bay Area just because the housing prices are so high. It's really hard for people who are just starting off fresh to be able to even survive, let alone thrive.
Right.
For us on the host side, it's really helpful to have the extra income. I felt the roommates are so well vetted. I felt like it was actually a really safe way to make use of the space that we had.
There are thousands and thousands of people across the country who are being released from prison every year, but we don't invest in them, we don't give them resources, and we don't give them a safe, healthy place to live when they come out. And so the Homecoming Project says there are extra bedrooms in communities that are underserved by the sharing economy. So let's push back against gentrification, pay homeowners to become hosts, to take people who have been in prison, live with them for 6 months. Enterprise and Wells Fargo created the Breakthrough Challenge to invest in innovative housing solutions. So that took us on a journey to explore housing for people leaving prison. We thought we were building a housing project, we built a relationship project. To see people laugh together, eat together, navigate our lives together.
I'm not a housing expert, I'm just a regular person, and we can all do something. It's just part of my responsibility as a community member to make sure that people in our community have a safe place to live.
The goal was to have that stability so I can work on the other pieces of that puzzle. And the Homecoming Project and Joe and Tamika were able to fulfill that for me and really make that a lot easier.
This has just added such a richness to my life and is just something I really cherish.
Okay, and so that is one of the videos that I love to share because it really does highlight how the Homecoming Project works and what it looks like. I know that you guys probably heard them talk about Oakland, and that is where we got our start, up in Oakland, and we have been down in LA since October. And so yeah, we're bringing it down. We're sharing, we're doing a thing down here. And so just a little bit about how it works. So the Homecoming Project, like you said, like we heard in a video, places people in the homes of homeowners or people who live in a community that have a spare room. It is not a transitional, it's not meant for transitional housing. And so that's the difference from this program from some of the other programs that we know and are familiar with. And so one of the first things is there is a screening and matching process. So each participant and hosts are carefully screened, and we follow a rigorous matching process that addresses living preferences and allows people to meet either on Zoom or in person before they actually have a true match. And that way that allows them to get to know one another, to have some conversations about things before the move in or before the thing happens. And so in that, the really cool part about the program is that although we are helping our participants who are people who are formerly incarcerated, we're also putting money back into the community by paying our homeowners or our hosts a monthly stipend of up to $1,400 a month. And I'll get into that in one of the next slides, but that way the participant isn't paying anything to be there, and the program lasts for 6 months. And in that 6 months, each participant is connected to a community navigator that is helping them gain access to different resources and making a plan, like a individualized service plan for what their life is going to be like after the 6-month program is over and beyond. We also walk alongside of the host as well. We don't leave our host hanging. We walk alongside of the host as well, just to be there should any questions arise or anything like that. We walk alongside of them as well. And then so for the sake of our meeting today, the areas that we serve here in LA are going to be South LA, East LA, and Long Beach. And if you're on here and you know about spas, that's going to be spa 6, 7, and 8, really. The program is county-wide, but these are just our focus areas. And just for reference, up in the Bay Area, we have 2 counties up there, which are going to be Alameda and Contra Costa County. And so just a little bit about our participant eligibility. All of our participants have to have served at least 10 years in prison and have participated in at least 3 in-custody rehabilitation programs. And this one fact here is a little bit outdated. We have since changed the period in which they have to have been released from. It says here a year, but it's up to a year and a half now. We raised that 6 months just because we know that we'll need more support. And we do have an exclusion, which are people who are convicted of sex offenses at this time. One fact that I like to highlight is that the population that we serve, which are typically former lifers, their recidivism rate is very low at about 1 to 2%, which is why this program is such a success. Because most folks who have, with that 1 to 2%, that means 98% of people are coming home and they are doing whatever they need to do to not, go back in, to not recidivate. And for our host, we have a host application that needs to be submitted to be considered, obviously, so we know who you are and that you're interested in the program. You must have a private room available for the participant. We do not do like shared rooms or anything like that. So a private room for the participant. And then we move into the interview phase. So once we get your application, we'll schedule an interview with you and we'll ask you questions and get to know you a little bit and answer any of your questions you might have about the homecoming project. And then we'll move into the HUD inspection where we'll verify your ID. We'll ask you, things about if you own the home, if you're renting, we'll get a landlord consent. And we'll talk about what your preferences are in a housemate and just in general. So we can match you with someone who has similar preferences, similar activities and habits. And the host must live in the property or on the home. We've had some like ADUs. I know the ADUs are like a big thing right now. So we have had some ADUs, but for the most part, our hosts do have to live in the property that our participant is in, and must be willing to attend at least 3 of our training sessions. And those training sessions are really built in to give the host all the tools that they need to feel supported in the 6-month journey that they're taking with this individual. And so going into the stipend, I know that folks are interested in the stipend. Once someone is matched and we're ready to develop a contract, we'll talk about what the monthly payments look like, but it's $45 a day. So that fluctuates up and down given the month, given how many days are in the month, but it roughly comes up to $1,400 a month for the 6 months. And then there's a $400 upfront payment that goes to the host once the contract is signed and sealed. One thing I like to highlight also from this slide is that hosts are not expected to case manage anyone. That is not the host job. That is not you guys' job if you are hosting. We love and appreciate the support that you're providing by giving the space. We do the case managing, we do the resources, but if you share those things, that's beautiful, but it's not mandatory to be a part of the program or to host for the program. All right. So once approved, like I said earlier, participants and hosts will meet each other virtually or in person. And we'll do that matching conversation based off of what we know about the host and what we know about the participant. And each person has the opportunity to meet with more than one person. So you don't just get paired with the first person that we put you with, that you have a conversation with. If the participant doesn't like the host or the host doesn't like the participant, we keep it rolling and we try to match you with someone that best matches your preferences and your lifestyle. All right, so some of our successes, we've placed over now 120 or 130 participants together, and 98% of our participants have left with full-time employment, and 100% of our participants have left with some sort of housing, and that looks different for everyone, but we talk about housing from the beginning of the 6 months. That way, at the end of the 6 months, they are already knowing where they're going, they're ready for it, and they transition into that beautifully. And then we have a 0% recidivism rate. The folks who go through our 6-month program have not been back to prison. This is a quote from one of our participants. "The Homecoming Project did not just find me a home, they found me a family." And I love that because there's a lot of stories, especially from our Bay Area friends, of hosts and participants that have become really like family. They celebrate the holidays together. Some people have even extended their, they've created their own lease and housing arrangement outside of the Homecoming Project because they liked each other so much. They go on vacations and things together. Those are some of the really big success stories. All of our stories are not like that. Some of them are regular where the person lives there for 6 months and, then they kind of move on. But it is not uncommon for someone to feel like they found family after leaving the homecoming project. Okay, so I won't stay too long on this. I think all of us here know what type of impact it would be for having you as a host. One of the like stark facts is that people who are formerly incarcerated are 10 times more likely to experience homelessness. And so by participating in the program like this, by hosting in a program like this, you are knocking down some of the barriers that people face when they're coming home from prison or incarceration. And so, yeah, so being a part of this program is definitely a win-win situation. And becoming a host, being a part of the THP family, you want to visit our website. So we have our application for host is on the website. You can also email me to talk about this a little more in depth, ask any more questions. In just a bit, I'll open it up for questions as well. But becoming a host, you definitely want to just read what you can on the website, look at our frequently asked questions so you feel like you have enough information, and definitely talk to me so that we can go through any and all of the questions you might have. If you are wanting to still help but not ready to be a host or cannot be a host, we definitely encourage you to share our information, share us with your network, much like Tori has been doing. Thank you so much, Tori, and shout out to you for helping me get the word out about the program. And so if you can't host and you want to host, definitely share about it with us. Invite us to your church, invite us to your, I don't know, your board meeting so that we can share the information. And then there's some information if you want to refer a participant, you can email me about that as well. Okay, and that was a survey that we're not going to do. And then lastly, there's a QR code here on the screen, and I encourage you guys to scan this QR code because it's going to take you to our email campaign, which will provide you a lot more information, stories, and keep you updated about the happenings of the Homecoming Project. My information is also here. Again, my name is Ashley McKay, and I'm the Senior Program Associate. My number is here, and so is my email. And yeah, so that concludes my presentation, and now I'm ready for questions if there are any.
That email say Homecoming Project.
That one is our general email, but my email directly is Ashley McKay at impactjustice.org.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, I'm looking, but I don't,
Okay, did you want to scan the QR code before you take it off?
well, I can't. I'm looking for,
Where's your phone?
I ain't scanning that.
Okay.
I know who that is.
Oh, you
I can also send you guys the flyer. You have it, Tori, the little postcard. That's the same QR code.
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
I have it.
So I
Yeah.
can share that with you guys as well.
Okay, that'd be wonderful. I may have to have you come speak on September 15th.
Yeah, let
It's
me
a
know.
Sunday at
You mean
1 o'clock. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, I can't, I don't see a snip tool, so I can't grab this, but that's
No, I
okay.
know with your
But you
with your.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm trying to do. I was trying to see.
Oh, you're trying to snip it out.
Snip it out for
Oh,
our
yeah.
purposes, and I don't.
I
Well,
can
it's right here. It's right here on this card, Laura.
Okay,
I have it.
well, and I'll email Ashley direct anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Because I wanna get the presentation. and
Yeah, if you
post
can
it.
send it to me too
Okay.
on a PowerPoint so I can put it on the screen on the 15th as well.
Okay. So,
All right, so that was very informational. I hope someone on the call has some questions that we have for Ashley to clarify anything. Let me see, I know I had one. I know you mentioned the year and a half. What was that? Is it 6 months now still, or is it a year and a half?
two different.
So
things.
the
What
year
was the other?
the 6 months is a time frame where the person is a part of the program, but
Okay.
the 6 months to a year and a half is how long it can be, the space in between when they come home. So have up until a year and a half to be a part of the program, so still be considered for the program.
Okay, okay.
So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
So, is it mostly men who you place, Or are there female?
We accept male and female, but because of the rates that
Right.
people are incarcerated, it is mostly males that we see. We definitely have we have a handful of women who apply. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, it's mostly men usually.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting. Well, I expected that to be the answer.
I did.
Right, right.
The answer. I
Even though, yeah, it's interesting. I've been going to this meeting on Wednesdays, and they have a lot of lifers who look like they're 12 years old. I'm like, how is that possible? But how do you actually get the information of do you have a contract with the sheriffs or the jails, or how do they get them? How do they know about Homecoming Project?
So right now we a lot of it is word of mouth. Like for our participants who hear about it, we do partner with Center for Employment Opportunities for all of our referrals. So that they're a huge help in sharing about the program to our participants. We PAC meetings. We do have a connection with CDCR when it comes to getting the documentation that people might need that they may not have access to anymore. But most of the time, the participants have that information. Most of it, they have it with them, and we're able to make copies and stuff like that. Or they can get it from their parole officers.
Oh, that makes sense. Parole, that makes sense. Okay.
And how many people have gone through the program? Northern California as well as here.
Mm-hmm. We're at about 100, like completed the program. I think we're at about 120.
Which you told us already, sorry.
No worries, no worries.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Pastor Bridget over here saying she thinks she knows your dad. I don't know.
What's your name?
You know Ben McKay?
Ben?
Yeah.
No,
No.
my dad's name is Anthony.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you gotta say it like that, you know.
Like in the face expression, like that.
Oh, I thought I heard that name before. Any questions, Rosie, Sandy? Who I don't
Now,
know.
is this
Tom,
just
I
for-
saw Tommy. I saw Kim.
Is this just
I
for
don't know.
adults? Is this for juveniles as well?
I don't know. Is it just for adults over 18 or?
So we don't have like an age gap. An age parameter, but when you think about the amount of time that because
Yeah,
all,
25.
all of our participants have to be at least 10 years. So by the time that 10 years is up,
Oh.
most of our participants are well over the age of 18.
At least
Okay.
10
All of our
years.
participants, I would say, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and I guess I want to ask,
Yeah,
mostly it's lifers who end up participating. But if they're lifers, how are they out of?
it's a lot out.
They might go to board. Things might change. I like that one I'm not an expert on, but I know that there's a board hearing that you can go to get some of to be early released. And so yeah, that's how I've seen it happen sometimes, especially for people who have gone in at a younger age. I think it all just depends on the time that they've been in, the good behavior and all those things start to add up. But yeah, and then for our lifers, yeah, that's something I don't want to speak too much on because I'm not an expert in that area, but I know that they go to board to get a resentencing.
Well, not to mention, some of them should have never been there in the first place.
Well, the unjust.
That's the unjust justice system.
Yes.
So that's a lot of reason because I'm looking at a couple have been here, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, how is it you've been in prison that long? And you look like you're 20, And how is it that you've been in there so long? What was it? And so I asked a lot of questions, and sometimes it's just they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. We have a friend right now, I don't know her son, I've seen pictures on her wall, but he took somebody to the ATM. They did something they didn't have any business. He was driving, so he didn't know what was going on, and you can tell because I talked to him on the phone. And so it's just gonna take the act of Congress to get him out of there now. So we'll see what happens. But she's worried. And so it's like, oh my God. So then usually when they come home, they can't live with their family anyway, right? Some of them cannot. I know that.
It depends. It depends on
It depends.
It depends on what they went in for, because sometimes the family will live in the space where they either committed the crime or that their victim is. And so they would have to stay away from that area. But we have a couple of our participants down here are actually home with family through the Homecoming Project.
Oh, okay. Also, the family, if they have an extra room, can participate in the program as well?
Yeah, they have to go through the same screening process as everybody else, but it's definitely an option.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really good. Huh. I'm sure that's helpful too. Okay. Any
Yeah, so-
other questions? Go
Well, I
ahead.
was just gonna make the comment, I mean, here where we are sitting, this historic West Adams area, you have so many large multi-bedroom houses that it would be interesting
It would be.
to have this
It would be.
program expanded, but
Maybe we
Like-
could have her speak at West Adams Avenues Association.
right, but I just don't, it sounds a little daunting as well. I am a person who's had, in the past, I did have semi-random roommates. I mean, in other words, grad students from USC or international scholars. So I
Right.
wouldn't have ever thought on that list I'd add the formerly incarcerated,
Right,
right? But that stipend's a whole lot more
right,
than one would get by just renting a room.
right.
But that would be my other question. Are the hosts providing the meals? It sounds like, and cleaning services and all that?
No, so the participant is responsible for their own
Right.
toiletries and things like that. The agreement, like as far as cleaning is concerned, that's something we ask during the matching process, because you might have a cleaner that comes to your home and they might not have to worry about cleaning up ever because you already have that service, and that's good for your household. We can relay that, but we also have people who are like, yeah, we take turns cleaning, or you clean up as you go. So that's the conversation that definitely had in the matching process. But to your comment about the roommate situation, one thing that we like to say too is when you think about the vetting process that our participants have to go through, it is definitely more than some like Trulia or some of the websites that you can get roommates off of, like Craigslist and things like that, because they don't really have a vetting process. They ask you what you're looking for. They ask you what size room you're looking for. They ask you what neighborhood you're looking for, and they might ask you if you would room with a male or female, but they don't give any of your personal history. So this stuff is like literally out on the table for our hosts to ask questions about and know and understand. They're not getting they're not coming into it blindly, as if we were kind of just welcoming a roommate that we met online. So
Right. Huh. That's interesting. So, I mean, why not? I think they were responsible for their food, their cleanup. They are adults, and they have had a regimented life where they had to clean up before. So I would think it'd be less work than the average roommate, tell you the truth. And as far as daunting, I think, if they match right, because I've been matching people myself, right? And I just know that I know the person who has the house, and I know the person who referred me that was homeless, maybe on somebody's church or something. So far, they've been like a good match. They've still been together like over almost a year, one of them, and the others, they still there. That's all I can say. So they must be still paying their rent and doing what they need to do. So I don't know. And then some I put in somebody's houses, and they usually don't take them without any money. But I'm pretty good with them saying if they follow instructions with me, they gonna follow instructions. Go get their GR, go get a job. And so I just did that last week for a girl. She's been calling me every day, keeping me up with what she's been doing. I went to the office today. The lady's giving me this. I said, okay, because they have pilot programs that they're working with now for landlords. And so the landlord's supposed to fill out the paper, but then the lady explained today that there is a process as anything else. They fill out the initial part of the paperwork for the client, and then the client takes it to the landlord, and they fill out the rest and turn it back in. So that could be like 6 weeks or so or something, 3 to 6 weeks. So we'll see how that goes. But she trusted enough to know that she's follow it through. And then she asked me for a bicycle. I said, oh Lord. So I looked at somebody that was sitting next to me. I said, you got a bicycle? They said, yeah. I said, oh. So I said, okay. Yeah, we got a bicycle.
Wow,
She said, because I have to get to work and home, but I don't always have to get on the bus. I said, okay, be careful. But you know, just getting the stuff to people. Like this morning, somebody gave me 16 bushels of potatoes. So I'm gonna give out some potatoes. So somebody's always got something to give and just sitting around, and that's what we need to start doing. And so, I mean, if you want something as simple as a bicycle, then ask around. I'm sure people have bicycles sitting around, you know, not riding it or whatever. So same thing. I think that if they're matching up and they're no other demeanor of the two and they hit it off right away, then it usually works out.
Yeah, well, I think it's a really innovative program.
Yeah.
A creative idea, and I'm very happy to have heard about it.
Yes. Yeah. That's wonderful, Ashley. Any other
Tori, you know,
questions?
I was gonna say, Tori, you know that if there's an opportunity for me to speak about the program, you just let me know, and I will try to schedule.
I'll let you know. I sure will. I sure will. There was anything, Rose? Anybody have any questions, Kareem?
Well, we know they're there,
I know she's there somewhere.
but
I have her back.
I'm here. It sounds
Okay.
really interesting. Definitely, let me just ask you a bit because I work with Department of Rehabilitation.
Right.
Does any of these participants is it required for them to have a job to be part of this? Do they have a case manager assigned to them?
Yeah, those are great questions. So, we not everyone who comes into the program already has a job. It's definitely something that we work with them towards if they don't. But so far, most of our LA participants have had a job because they've come through Center for Employment Opportunities. And so that box has already been, checked off. As far as case management is concerned, our organization provides a community navigator. And then we also partner with other agencies that do that type of case management to give them more of a well-rounded type of support. So yes, they do have case management in a few different facets to answer your question.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. That was a good question, Corinne. And remind me, I have your badge Friday. I'll give it to you when I see you from the Empowerment Congress.
okay.
Corinne, the cool thing is one of our graduates, we have one participant that just graduated and we've submitted his application for DOR to help pay for his schooling. And so that was really exciting for us because the folks over at DOR were very receptive and they were very quick. And they assessed him and they talked with him. And so the process, I have to check with him this week to see, where he's at in the process, but it was really exciting time because he's been kind of on the fence about going to school and if he'll have the money to do it. And it seems like everything's going to work out now that we have, someone at DOR who knows about the Homecoming Project and is willing to help our participants. So really cool.
Yes, I was just thinking that majority of your participants may be eligible for services with Department of Rehab if they want to have any form of employment.
Okay.
So if, just have information from you, maybe you could have my email, you could forward it to me. So if you had any questions for any of your participants on how to apply for Department of Rehab to support them with any job-related services, as I know they are trying to get independent and, self-sufficient as a partnership.
Yeah, would you mind?
That would be great, Ashley.
Yes.
I'll put my information here on chat.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kareem, text me your email also. I know I have it, but text it to me. So I'm gonna send it to a friend of mine. He's a physician, but he has a son that's challenged, and he just called me yesterday. So yeah, is it okay to give him your number and stuff as well? Okay.
I'm gonna definitely. I'm gonna put my. I don't know if I should put my work number or my email. I'm gonna put my email here, my personal email, and then I'll put
Okay.
my cell phone number.
UNNC.
If you have any,
Too late.
She can text it to me. It doesn't matter.
I forget.
Because it is it's work related. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, so
So that's good. So yeah, text it to me as well. At least you know
Okay.
the difference between the work related and the social advocacy over here. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
okay, so in effect, I've just posted the chat.
Oh, good. Okay. So if anybody wants to copy the chat, please feel free to do so.
Yes.
And it is what, 7:44.
Right.
If there's no further questions, I know everybody wants to go to the DNC tonight.
Right.
I tried to tell everybody that's on the call, I tried to tell Laura that we could have did this next week. However, we have a
Yes.
festival next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's
Right
right.
here, Adams and 7th Avenue. So feel free to come over. A lot of delicious food, a lot of great vendors, and a lot of good music.
Right.
So
Yes.
you all are invited, and it's gonna be really fun.
And it's free, not the food.
Well, of course.
Not the
The
food.
And
jazz.
wear some comfortable shoes, because everybody likes to
Right.
get out there and dance.
Yes, they do.
Great.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
But before we leave, I'll take a quick moment of silence because I just heard on news that Warren Boswell had died, and I've met him before. He was the designer for LeBron James and McDonald's uniforms. But he died at 48 years old.
Oh,
And I just told Bridget or somebody, I said all this week, a lot of the 40s and 50s are leaving before the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I'm like, I don't know what is happening, but it's a lot of work, I guess, trying to survive and do your work efficiently and effectively as well. It's a lot of work.
Tori,
Yes.
Warrior lived in West Adams Avenue, so he was a member of our
That's
community.
why I
Oh,
know
wait a
it.
minute. Oh, whoa, whoa.
That's why I do it. I know
On
it.
8th Avenue guy?
He lived on 9th Avenue.
Right.
Yeah.
The same where Myron.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, he lived by Myron.
No, I know who. I
He
know
was,
him.
remember Warrior was at our last celebration of graduates in 20.
Yeah, that's why I knew, because I did the presentations. I was like, wait a minute, I know him. Know him.
Right.
When I kept looking, I said, oh my God.
He was a wonderful designer for the basketball community because he was at least 6'5".
Right. And I said, wait a minute. Okay, I knew it. So I have him, if you get a chance to look it up, because they are talking about him and he's really good photo. And so I was like, oh my God. I said, we got to take a moment of silence for Warren.
He knew him, but they had the funeral at West End. At First AME last Wednesday.
Was it last week?
Yeah, he died on the 1st.
Oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I can't believe it. Because I kept looking. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And so, well, we still take a moment of silence for Warren Boswell because he was our neighbor right here in the avenues and where I'm sitting right now. And I just want to take a moment before we leave. And Ashley, you getting off easy tonight because everybody wants to go to the DNC, even though it's repetitive. It's over and over. But
I will also give everyone a hint that if you missed part of it and want to see it, the NBC News
they play it over and over.
Yeah, NBC News Now, which streams online, will play it a second time.
Right, and a third, and a fourth.
Well, then that'll be at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, they play it over and over.
All right.
So,
Tori, cards on the porch.
I'm coming right now.
Okay.
I'm coming right now. Okay, Ashley, thank you very much, and all of the participants. And you guys, I look forward to seeing you next Friday.
okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.